At time of recording, there's something I've been going through that's really personal, but it really surfaced a lot of shadows that I had to deal with. And that happens with shadow work. It's not all journaling, it's not all prompts that you can do proactively. Sometimes you are faced with situations in your life that you have to process. When this happens, I lean on my deities for help, of course, but I have to do it. I have recently gotten through something and accepted some things about myself, and that's with the help of Hecate. And I am recording this video not to tell you exactly what I went through, but to give you some advice she gave me in hopes that you can listen to it. It might help you. It may help you right now, or it might be something you remember when the time is right. But that's what I'm hoping for with this video. So let's get into it already. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. This is Sarah, that divination witch. Hi. The channel is a safe space and community. You can ask questions, nothing silly, we don't judge. So yeah, if you want to join, hit subscribe. And if you'd like to support me or the channel, all of my links, they are just below. I'd be grateful if you could check it out. I offer lots of different readings. I've got Patreon, teaching about Hecate, tarot, magic, going through a path working. We've got a community. There's all sorts happening. So yeah, I'd be grateful if you could take a look, because it helps me continue to make videos. So thank you. I'm looking down because I've got some notes here, what I wrote down at the time. And I'm just going to read this to you first. So the most important piece of advice: there is a difference between forgiveness and acceptance. And that was Hecate's words. And she told me that. And then she helped me understand what that means. So, these are my notes about it. When something bad happens, we do not have to forgive, especially if it's very bad. That's not conductive. Forgiving people for them hurting and betraying you, it only gives them permission to walk all over you again. Acceptance, it can let you acknowledge and process the pain. It can help you be in touch with your boundaries as well. So, if somebody important to you hurts you, you make them aware, but you do not have to forgive them. You can, however, move forward for the greater good. And those were my notes at the time. And that made perfect sense, because long story short, there was something that happened to me when I was young that has resurfaced now, because the person who did something to me when I was young is now in a vulnerable position. They're not alone. You know, they've got people around them, a support network. But I am expected to just forgive and forget and let that go, because this person is now vulnerable. And it really hurt. It was a lot to process. I felt like the worst person in the world. And I know that holding on to things in a spiritual way, holding on to pain, is not helpful. Holding on to bad things is not helpful, because it can stew inside of us. It can develop into something worse. You know, it can impact your mental health, your physical health even. It can impact a lot of things. It can fester. It can, on a spiritual level, attract negative things. Let's say it like that. I've spoke about where to go on the channel. I haven't spoke about it for a while. I need to again. But yes, you know, it can attract things. So it's not good to do. Therefore, you do need to move on from these things. But it doesn't mean you have to forgive that person. And it doesn't mean you have to, you know, let go of your principles. Okay? So there'll be a lot of you that can resonate with this, I'm sure, given my audience, and a lot of guys and girls, and they're thems, that follow me are from like ex-religious backgrounds, you know. So this could tie in with that. Mine had nothing to do with religion. But sometimes we have families that just don't understand because they might be in a religion or they just might be ignorant. And if they come out with things to hurt us and do things to hurt us, and then you're in a similar situation, no, you don't have to forgive them. But it's not healthy to stew on it. And that's the advice that Hecate gave me and really resonated, that yes, we have to let go of these things. We have to for our own sakes. We do not have to give them forgiveness. But we can say that's happened. We can, if we want, show up for these people if they need us, like to an extent. But that doesn't mean we have to forego our boundaries and let them in again. It doesn't mean that we should do that. You know, you hear about being the bigger person. You know, that's a term that's thrown around, and I think it's thrown around in ways it shouldn't really be, but it is. It's not about being a bigger person, better person, or whatever. It's not about sweeping it under the rug. No. Acknowledge it. You know it's happened, but you can't just dwell on it all the time. And if that person comes around again, say it's someone like your family, you can't get rid of, sort of thing, or someone like even a work colleague, you know, depending on the scenario, you can, it's not agreeing to disagree, but you make them aware. Yep, you did this to me, I'm not happy about it, whatever, but let's move forward. Do you get me? Now, I know this isn't easy, and I know it depends on the scenario, how deep it is. You may not even want to move forward, I get it. You don't have to force yourself to do anything of the sort, as in, you know, just forgiving this person. But if it's somebody that, you know, say it's a family member, and it's better to just accept it and move forward. Do you get me? But sometimes you might not want to accept it and move forward. That's okay as well. You may never see this person again, and that's fair enough. If you get to a point that you feel you have to draw that line, put that boundary up. No, you want nothing to do with this person. That is your freedom of choice. I am not telling you not to do that. If you are able to, go for it. If that brings you peace, because ultimately you have to protect yourself and your energy. So do that, but don't stew on it. That's the main advice here, is to not stew on it, because it's going to make you feel 10 times worse, if not more. Okay, and it can make, like I said, other things worse, mental health, physical health, and even on a spiritual level. Okay, don't let other people's behaviours impact your spiritual journey and your progress in life. Let people say what they want, let them think what they want. You'll always be an enemy to somebody, or the bad guy in somebody's story. That's just, I know that's a cheesy saying, but it's very true. You can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. That's fine. You've got to just let it go for your own sake, okay? And this is advice being given to me from Hecate, and I just felt like, yes, that is very useful to share, and I wish somebody had told me that sooner, because there's a lot of things I admit I've stewed on in life. There are things, you know, you may not have thought about in a while, and then something crops up and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah. Try and let it go for your own sake. Just a bit of advice, best as I can give, from Hecate to you. Okay? If you liked it, hit subscribe. Check out the channel for more videos. If you're interested in Hecate, I've got over 100 on her. If you've got questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. I'll answer where I can. Help each other out as well, okay? And until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.